welcome to day 10 of the Big Mac Challenge. So I'm making something today that I probably wouldn't normally make simply because it's a flour-based product, but it is also very high in fiber simply because I'm using chickpea flour. So I thought this might be something different for people if you've never made an omelet that is a chickpea omelet before. It's definitely worth trying once. I particularly like this. I have like 3 or 4 different recipes for making chickpea into either an omelet or into muffins or into like a quiche type of thing. I've actually not tried this recipe before, so I thought I would give something a different recipe a try. So it's going to be from Connoisseur's Veg, and this is for just a chickpea omelet. I'm going to go ahead and show you what it is and put it together for you here. You're supposed to mix it, and with any of these kind of chickpea flour based things, let it sit for a while. So I'm going to mix this together and let it sit for 10 minutes before I put it in the in a pan on the stove to cook. And normally I would use the griddle, but when I'm not going to get it out for one thing. Usually when I make these, I make like a bunch of them because the boys love them. But yeah, today it's just me. So I'm going to show you what goes into this, and we're going to get this made. So first things first, obviously you need chickpea flour. And this is the particular one that we get at the Indian grocery store. I like the coarse split chickpea flour. It's just a little bit, it's not quite as fine. It works out really well when you're making stuff into like a quiche or whatever. So I have half a cup of that. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. So far, we're at 16 grams of fiber already, which is pretty exciting. I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed. We actually keep our flaxseed in the freezer after we grind it. Well, the seeds are in there too, but. And then you're supposed to put in 1 tablespoon of tamari, or actually it says soy sauce, but I'm actually going to put in a little bit. There's still some stuff on that. Put in a little bit less than that, because I'm putting in the kala namak, which is the black salt. I mean, it's called black salt, but it's pink, which is kind of weird, but okay. That was pretty easy. And then everything else is 1/4 teaspoon. So this is like super awesome. So here is, we just bought a new container of kala namak, and I just put what fit in this little container and threw out the rest. There was not hardly any left, so it really wasn't that big of a deal. But everything that I do now is going to be 1/4 teaspoon. So, 1/4 teaspoon of kala namak, which is your eggy salt. Sometimes I get way too much black pepper. Yep, like that. There's 1/4 teaspoon black pepper. 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. I actually need to get something else to measure that with because I use that with the boys. Black pepper is not boy friendly at all. 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric and 1/4 teaspoon of paprika. So that's actually all the spices. I will put out in the 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder in just a minute. And then you mix in 3/4 cup of water. So it's not super complex at all. This recipe actually is pretty straightforward, but you do need to let this sit for a little bit in order to, well, it pretty much, the chickpea flour absorbs the water. It just makes it easier to cook. I always do that when I make the, I don't remember what it's called, but there's a recipe at a Chinese restaurant that's made with eggs and it's got this gravy on it. I don't remember what that's called, but it's one of my all-time favorite recipes at a Chinese restaurant back in the day. And I can make this very, very similar, and the boys really, really like that. So anyways, there's that. I'm going to let this sit. And then the reason that I'm actually making this is because, like I had said a few days ago, whenever I make the, I was looking up recipes for making stuff with kimchi. That was one of the things that it said for kimchi is to make scrambled eggs or an omelet and then put the kimchi on top. And I was like, well, okay, there you go. So this is gonna be for one meal, and then the other meal I have all sorts of cabbagey type stuff still in the fridge, so not too worried about that. I don't know how much is in 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed in terms of fiber. It's probably fairly high, probably at least like 3 or 4. I will look that up. But if it doesn't have any, say it has 0, there's 14, 15, there's already 16 just in the, between the nutritional yeast and the chickpea flour. So anyway, I gotta go get my baking powder measured in here and get this cooked up, and then I will be back with you guys in just a little bit to show you what it turned out to look like. Alrighty guys, so omelet is ready, and it's got chopped up kimchi in it for my fermented food, and there is a little hole right there. No, I did not try it, but Connor did. He's not a huge fan of kimchi. However, the omelet is super good, and he would totally eat that, although he's already done with supper. But he would eat more because it tastes wonderful, especially with ketchup. But anyways, so I've got some ketchup left over, the sugar-free ketchup. I'll be taking that with me. I'm actually going to deconstruct my omelet now that I've constructed it and make it into layers. But I'm going to take the kimchi back out and put it in a little container, because you're not supposed to cook that, obviously, because then it takes all of the little happy microbes that are in there and kills them. So I'm going to take that back off and take that with me, and then put my, just make this so it'll fit into a container, and then I'll just put it together when I warm it up later. So the ground flaxseed had 3. So this one meal has 19 grams of fiber in it all by itself. And then I'm going to take a plum with me, which has 3. And like I said, I've got leftovers of other stuff for the second meal, which is fine. That's actually pretty exciting. Leftovers are good. And yeah, I gotta go get myself ready for work, and I will see you guys in the morning for, I believe it's a yoga day. So that's awesome, because Claire sent me a link to a yoga that I'm going to go and do. So thank you for that. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in the morning for some yoga. Well, good morning everyone. So I am home, and I actually just got home running a little bit late this morning because traffic was ridiculous. Anthony's not home from dropping the boys off at school yet, but I was just going to let you know that food last night was very good. It was actually better than I expected. Again, it was Connor approved, so obviously it was going to be wonderful and delicious, but it actually was really good with the kimchi, better than I expected it to be, and the ketchup was also very good with it. So I was a little worried because I'm so used to Heinz ketchup that I didn't know if it would be very good or not, but it really was. It was quite tasty. So anyway, I just got done putting my dishes down, and I thought I would let you guys know that I am doing, obviously I told you last night I'm doing yoga. So as soon as Anthony and I get that pulled up on the computer, it's on our TV, but anyways, pulled up on the TV, I will show you which website it is that we're doing a video on, and I'm feeling good about getting some yoga done and getting some sleep in me today, because I'm very tired. Alrighty guys, I will talk to you again in just a little bit. Alrighty guys, so this is the first yoga that we are attempting to do that is not a darebee.com just workout piece of paperish type thing. This is called Fill Your Cup Yoga with Adrian, and we're going to do, it's about a 20-minute workout. So we're going to go and do this, and yeah, I'll let you know how it is when I'm done. I'll come back and chat with you guys for a quick minute when I'm done with this, and we'll talk about this and see how well this goes. Alright guys, so we're done with yoga. That was actually a really good, I really enjoyed that. One of the things I really liked about it in that particular yoga is that when you get into a position, a lot of them, she will allow you to move within that position. Like we were in the downward facing dog position, and then she was like, you can, I don't know what she called it, but pedal with your feet or something. Anyway, you could like essentially put your heels closer to and away from the floor, so like you were in movement, and I kind of liked that. There were a lot of things where she was like, okay, so we are on your back and you're holding your knees, but you can rock side to side, stretch out everything if you want to. I like that. That was pretty cool. Rather than just holding the one position for a long time, you actually got some movement in there. So that was neat. Thank you for that recommendation. Appreciate that, Claire. I will probably, if I don't get any other suggestions for other videos to try, I will probably actually, the next time we do yoga, we'll look at a different one from her and see if there was one that came up that something about stress melt or something along those lines. We could see what that one is. But anyways, that was very good. All right, so that's it for me for today, guys. I hope you had a fabulous day, and I will talk to you again tonight for another day.